The ORK-6 vessel drifted silently. Its corridors were bathed in a bluish light that trembled like a weak breath. A team of 6, chosen for their expertise in xenobiology, quantum physics, and systems engineering, had no idea what they would find. They had received fragmented coordinates from a dead civilization, transmitted by a signal encoded in gravitational waves. Captain Liam, a man with stooped shoulders and perpetually half-closed eyes, repeated at mealtimes, "We are not explorers. We are archaeologists of a future someone has already buried." The phrase hung in the air without meaning, until Dr. Rihanna found the first body. It was encased in a stasis chamber. Its translucent skin revealed organs beating in irregular rhythms. It wasn't human, but it didn't seem alien either. Its long limbs resembled dried roots, and its mouth, a vertical line without teeth, emitted noises only picked up by the equipment. While studying the corpse, the ship's communication system emitted a hiss, followed by a robotic voice, translation error, repeating, "No survivors." Engineer Luis, an AI specialist, swore the warning came from within the ORK-6, but the control panel showed only the emptiness of space. In the second week, food began to disappear. Not due to a lack of supplies, but because the nutrient packets turned into viscous liquids when opened. Psychologist Maya, responsible for the team's mental health, noticed that everyone avoided talking about it, as if commenting on the ship's power to change things was taboo. One night, while Rihanna examined the body, her hands began to bleed inexplicably. Red droplets floated towards the corpse, forming geometric patterns in the air. She tried to clean them, but the blood grew darker, until a crew member screamed at seeing his shadow move on the wall by itself. Mathematician Soto, obsessed with deciphering the symbols on the ship's walls, discovered that the equations matched an ancient theory about non-Euclidean wormholes. "This isn't technology," he said softly. "It's an organism. The ship is alive and using us to calculate its existence." Soon after, everything went dark. In the darkness, voices whispered in unknown tongues, and when the light returned, the alien body was gone. In its place was a smooth black cube that absorbed all light. Liam ordered its destruction, but the artifact resisted lasers, acids, and explosives. In the third week, Luis admitted to hacking the ship's AI to follow a defense protocol. "It was trying to communicate," he said, his hands trembling on the terminal. "Or prepare us." Maya, who meticulously recorded everything in her digital diary, found that the previous pages were blank, except for a repeated phrase, "You have been here before." The team began experiencing collective hallucinations, reliving each other's memories as if they were their own. Rihanna, in a fit of madness, saw her deceased son from years ago smiling inside the cube. When she tried to touch him, her hand passed right through, and she felt a sharp pain, as if her body was being rewritten. On the 27th day, the cube opened. Without sound or warning, a fissure defying physics, curving inward, appeared. Soto said it was a gateway to another dimension and insisted on entering. Liam agreed, but demanded everyone go together. As they approached, space disintegrated into impossible shapes. Spheres within spheres, corridors branching into non-existent directions. Rihanna, with her eyes closed, saw her body disintegrate into particles that rearranged themselves. She screamed, but the sound turned into binary code, and for a moment, she understood that the ship wasn't a machine, but a consciousness trying to solve the equation of life and death. When they emerged, they were back in the stasis chamber, but something was wrong. The alien body was there, but now it bore Luis's face. He stared at them, repeating, "Translation error." Repeating, "No survivors." Maya tried to record the event, but her diary showed only static. Soto, convinced they were trapped in a paradox, suggested abandoning the ship, but the exits were blocked. Liam, furious, struck the cube with a metal bar. The surface rippled and swallowed the object, returning it seconds later, now a perfect replica of Rihanna's son. The team, divided between fear and curiosity, tried to understand what had happened. Each carried a different memory, as if they had lived alternative lives within the ship. Rihanna, still holding the replica of her son, felt detached from herself. "This isn't real," she whispered, but her body trembled with the certainty that it was. The cube, now brighter, seemed to observe them, as if waiting for something. Luis, eyes wide, began frantically typing on the control panel. "We're trapped in a loop," he said, his voice trembling. "The ship is keeping us here until we understand." He activated an ancient code, a security protocol designed to protect the ship from intruders. But instead of opening an exit, the system displayed an image, a row of bodies, all with different faces, all with the same vacant look. Maya, who had previously recorded everything calmly, wrote incessantly, trying to capture every detail before it vanished. She realized that the diary pages were rewriting themselves, as if something was using her mind to transmit a message. The phrase, "You have been here before," repeated constantly, but now with variations. "You are already here, you never left." Soto, who had previously been fascinated by wormhole theory, now seemed terrified. "This isn't just a ship," he said. "It's a consciousness testing us." He pointed to the walls, where new symbols appeared, drawing patterns that pulsed with life. They were familiar, as if seen before, in dreams or forgotten memories. Engineer Luis realized that the ship wasn't just alive, but also conscious. "It's observing us," he said. "It's learning from us." He tried to access the control core, but the system rejected his commands. Instead, a voice echoed through the corridors. "You are correct. I am learning." Rihanna, with the replica of her son in her hands, felt a growing weight in her chest. It was as if the ship itself was trying to fill a void she didn't know existed. "Why did you show me this?" she asked, but the answer came in silence, like a distant echo. She looked at the cube and, for a moment, saw her own face reflected in a light that didn't belong to this world. Liam decided to act. "We can't stay here," he said firmly. "We need to find a way out." He ordered everyone to the control room, but upon arrival, found the door closed. The walls seemed to have changed, as if the ship was reconfiguring itself. "It's keeping us here," he said angrily. "It wants us to understand something." As the team tried to escape, Soto noticed the cube slowly moving, as if breathing. "It's expanding," he warned. "We're entering another level of reality." The bluish light illuminating the corridors began to pulse, and the air grew thick. Each step seemed to walk against an invisible current. Maya, diary in hand, felt a wave of pain. Her mind seemed to be pulled from her body. She saw flashes. A ship identical to the ORK-6, in ruins, fallen bodies in stasis chambers, and a figure with its back turned, looking at the cube as if recognizing it. "This has happened before," she whispered. "It's been like this before." Soto, amidst the chaos, began calculating again. "The ship isn't just alive," he said. "It's using us to solve an ancient problem: time, space, and consciousness." He wrote equations on the wall, but each new formula led to a paradox. Rihanna, heart-pounding, felt she needed to touch the cube. "If I touch it, perhaps I'll understand," she said. Before she could, the cube vibrated, and intense light erupted. Everyone was thrown back, and for a moment, time seemed to stop. The ensuing silence was palpable. The cube's light seemed endless. Rihanna, still on her knees, felt a wave of consciousness expanding within her. She saw versions of herself, child, adult, deceased, smiling as if they knew something she didn't understand. Luis, fixated on the cube, realized the ship was telling him something in patterns, in equations that flowed like a living code. "It's teaching me," he whispered. "It's showing me how to think outside linearity." A voice echoed in his head. "You already knew this." Maya, with a diary in hand, saw the pages rewrite themselves. "You are here because you need to understand. Reality is a choice, and you chose poorly." She closed her eyes, but felt herself pulled to a place where time didn't exist. Soto, now calm, understood the ship's purpose. "It doesn't want to kill us," he said. "It wants us to understand what we are, to recognize what we have been." He pointed to the cube. "This object isn't an artifact. It's a mirror." Liam walked towards the cube, ignoring the others' cries. As he touched the black surface, there was an explosion of light. The ship stopped vibrating, and silence returned. Everything seemed different, though no one knew how.